Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, what are some of the top conditions that you can claim secondary to your service-connected tinnitus and possibly get service-connected? In today's video, I'm going to break it down and explain some of the diagnostic code criteria for these conditions. So make sure you stick around. Okay, everyone, so as a former VA rating specialist trained by the VA, not another third-party organization, by the VA, these are some conditions I've seen other veterans claim, and I've actually adjudicated some of these cases where the veteran claimed these conditions, which I'm going to explain in this video, secondary to their service-connected conditions and possibly get service-connected. Now, the reason why I say possibly is because it still has to go through this process of possibly having to get a CNP exam. But we all know you can get your own DBQ completed, and as long as it's actionable and sufficient under 38 CFR 3.326 subpart B and subpart C, no further examination is necessary. So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here's slide number one. The first condition, major depressive disorder. Now, this is the general rating criteria for mental conditions, okay? Keep in mind, the VA came out with the proposed changes back in, I want to say March or April of 2022. I previously did a video talking about the big changes that the VA is talking about implementing these proposed changes from 2022 in April of 2025. As of this date, there's no instructions on what, when, why, how, all that stuff. So that's for another video. Now, this is the current general rating criteria. I did not copy the 0, 10, and 30%. I only copied the 50, 70, and 100, okay? One key thing to keep in mind is the total occupational and social impairment for the 100%, occupational and social impairment for the 70, occupational and social impairment for the 50. Now, real quick, Dwayne, what does that mean? How does this major depressive disorder, okay, secondary to tinnitus, affect your occupational impairment and your social impairment? Did another video where I was talking about how to get a single 100% for a mental condition. Now, again, I'm not providing any medical advice. I'm not a medical examiner. I'm just sharing what I've seen veterans claim secondary to tinnitus as a former VA rater. Guess what? Trained by the VA. Let's keep going. Slide number two. Here in slide number two, migraines. Now, I would say throughout all of these, migraines was probably the most common one that I saw, but it was 50-50. And I don't understand it because in the rationale, some VA examiners will say, hey, there's no correlation. And then other VA examiners will say, oh, yes, there is a correlation based on this medical literature, this case study that was done. And I'm like, how is it that other VA examiners are not finding the same medical literature and same medical studies? Okay. This is diagnostic code 8100. And what I want to point out is the 50% criteria with very frequent, completely prostrating and prolonged attacks, productive of severe economic inadaptability. So I know you want me to drop a nugget, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop one for you. How would I claim this secondary to tinnitus? I am claiming migraines secondary to my service-connected tinnitus. Since being diagnosed and service-connected with tinnitus, I have now developed migraines. And my symptoms include, wait for it, with very frequent, completely prostrating and prolonged attacks productive of severe economic inadaptability. That's it. They should schedule a CMP exam. Obviously, if you're claiming something secondary, you need a current diagnosis. Guess what? I'm about to give you another nugget. Remember I said, or I did a video of how to get new and relevant evidence fast? There you go. Watch that video and you can get that within a couple hours, okay? Just following that video. Now, here's another nugget, and I don't want to draw this out too long. Let's just say they give you 30%. And you get a copy of the CMP exam and the doctor didn't check the box of severe economic inadaptability, basically asking, does the veteran's migraines interfere with their employment? And the rater gives you 30%. Guess what? That's a high-level review all day. Here's why, and this is the nugget. Check this out. When you go to the high-level review, the main argument is, hey, I did tell the examiner that my migraines interfered with my employment. Also, the rater failed to use my personal statement where I noted all of my symptoms, and it included with very frequent, completely prostrating and prolonged attacks, productive of severe economic inadaptability. Remember I said, if I had to claim it, how would I claim it secondary? How would I word it? There it is. And that's how you should and could win that on appeal. That is the argument. Man, I just dropped some nuggets on this one. All right, let's keep going. Sleep apnea. I've seen it. Now, I didn't see it a lot, but I saw it. Okay? And again, I've seen some examiners deny it, some approve it, not as much as like the migraines. Okay? One thing that I want to point out in this sleep apnea, and this is if you claim a secondary or a direct service connection or whatever. Look at the 50% criteria where it says requires use of breathing assistant device, such as continuous airway pressure, CPAP. You don't need a CPAP. That is the most common that we see, but just a breathing assistant device. There's other breathing assistant devices out there that are not called a CPAP. Okay, so a lot of veterans, they just think, hey, I gotta have a CPAP. I gotta have a CPAP. No, breathing assistant device, such as. Okay, so it's very important to understand how to read this diagnostic code criteria. A lot of veterans, they don't understand it. Guess what? I got a video on diagnostic codes. I even talk about it in my book. Nuggets on top of nuggets, on top of nuggets, on top of nuggets. Let's keep going. The last condition, TMJ. Woo, okay? And this is probably, I would say, TMJ, out of all these conditions, TMJ is the one that I rated the least. But I did rate some, but out of all the ones I just showed you, TMJ was the least one that I rated, okay? And this is the diagnostic code, 9905. You can find it in the dental body system in the rating scheduler criteria, okay? And they have to measure, okay? So if you have any evidence, okay, this is where it would fall. Let's just take the highest one, 50%. 0 to 10 millimeters of maximum unassisted vertical opening, that's the mouth, with diet width. So they're saying not only do you need to meet that 0 to 10 millimeters with dietary restrictions to all mechanically altered foods. Now, what is the easiest way to get this information? If you're diagnosed for it, obviously you've gotten treated or some type of treatment form or treatment somewhere down the road. So if you're getting treated for this, guess what? Have your physician to write a statement. Which one of these do you have? 30 to 34 millimeters, 21 to 29 millimeters, 11 to 20 millimeters, 0 to 10 millimeters. Okay. So that's how you maximize the percentage for any condition that you're claiming. All right. Man, woo, I just dropped a lot of nuggets, especially under the migraine, okay? So I just wanted to share the top conditions that I saw as a former Raider. And again, I'm gonna say it again and again. I'm gonna start saying it a lot more. Trained by the VA, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is a guarantee, only that these are some of the conditions that I saw veterans claim in when secondary to tinnitus. The wording is going to be key. If I had to do it all over again, if I'm claiming something secondary, I'm letting them know what I'm claiming, how I'm claiming it, secondary, the condition, the primary condition, and then whatever the criteria for the percentage I feel I meet for that secondary condition, then that's what I'm going to put at the end. Because if you get service connected and you don't get it, then that's an argument on a high level review. All right. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.